Trust Our Youth's been a key theme across all our teams this season. Just how proud have you been of the academy graduates who have represented the senior side this year?
Look, it's been fantastic to see, fantastic to witness the way they've played, but the way they've conducted themselves as young adults as well in a pretty brutal environment, which is League Two. Has been a credit to themselves as individuals, a credit to the families involved. A huge credit must go to our academy and the work they've done in terms of the development and the progression of these young players. But what a fantastic reflection on what we are as a football club. Like I say, to go through the season with a host of young players, not only making their debuts but consistently playing at our level of football has been a hell of an experience for him, and one which has put him in a really strong position going into next season. It's also generated more interest in ourselves as a football club, and we're constantly getting phone calls and recognition in relation to what our young players have done. And we hope we can keep some of them long enough for our fans to come back into the stadiums and actually witness them firsthand and see them play, because you speak to our supporters and there's still some players playing within our first team who our fans have never actually seen play live. And that's an incredible thing to understand, but also that you have to take into account what's happened with the pandemic, and we can't control that, but all we can do is make sure these young players are on that pitch, hopefully at the start of the next season, where our fans are back in the park supporting us.
So you mentioned there about having fans back in the park, and the One of Our Own Cup's really given us a great chance to provide some of the junior Grecians and their families with a really memorable experience and something cool to be part of. So how nice is it to be able to involve our youngest supporters again, and how much are you looking forward to seeing those happy faces back in the park?
Yeah, well, look, we hope they'll be happy faces. They'll be happy when we win games of football. We had a glimpse of it this season. I think we had probably the best part of a month or a couple of home games where there was 1,500 people in the ground, and they were obviously mainly season ticket holders. So in terms of the junior Grecians experience, I think it's second to none. You look at what they get to do on a match day and the experience they get to have, and it's not just watching 90 minutes game of football. It's about the whole aspect of the day, the introduction to the ground, the stadium tours, meeting the players, and getting an idea of what we stand for as a club at Exeter City. We hope when they come back they can do it safely. First and foremost, that's got to be our main priority as a football club. But like I mentioned about supporters looking forward to seeing these players play for the first time. I've had players meetings this week, and the players are exactly the same, but just the other way around. They're desperate to play in front of their home fans, and they've come through the academies and they've supported this football club as well. So they've probably been in those junior Grecians positions themselves and watched the first team play on numerous occasions. And now it's their turn to represent the club, and they're doing it in a fantastic manner. And they're looking forward to the moment that they get to run out in front of hopefully a full house at the park, and some of the junior Grecians will obviously be present in relation to that.
And finally, the virtual match is being run to support 2 local community charities. So how important is it for us as a club to support our community that we're in?
Okay, I get asked this question a lot, and people always say about why Exeter City is so special, and it is the people first and foremost. But the people are the fans, and the people are the community, and they are part of the city. So anything the club can do as a help and an aid to the public is absolutely key. And the work we do charity-wise and community-wise is, like I say, it's second to none. It's absolutely fantastic, and we've got some really good people at the head and in lead roles in relation to that. And any sort of exposure and any sort of publicity in relation to the bits and pieces we do needs to be emphasised and needs to be drilled home in terms of what we can and what more we can do. And I'm sure there's a lot of people in need of help and assistance, and we can hopefully provide that as a football club. And it helps ourselves in terms of a fan base. It improves our reputation as what we are as a football club. But when you're owned by the trust and owned by the fans themselves, it's basically you're owned by the city and you're owned by the community, and you've got to play a huge part in that. And we feel it's an area we do really well at Exeter City.